Oh, buddy, we're back to covering some Diddy stuff. Diddy's back in the news. Apparently, he's about to go on trial, and he turned down a plea deal because he thought things were going to go his way, that everything was going to get dropped, that he was going to be all good. And you want to know my opinion? I think Diddy is a burned asset. And I think that maybe, he thought maybe, that his punishment had been done and taken care of and over. And that the men in the black suits pulling all the levers were gonna free him. They were gonna let him out. They were just gonna be like, well, he did nothing wrong. I don't think that's what's happening.
Sean Combs, known as Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, is about to stand trial in New York in May. Combs had his famous white parties.
I moved to a new neighborhood and they were like, well, what's this guy doing?
Everybody knows about the white parties at this point. No need to explain those.
Moving here in East Hampton. I said, everybody, come on over to the house so y'all get to know me. You ain't got nothing to be afraid of.
Some of the alleged activity may have occurred in the later hours of those parties.
Kids have like an hour left because this thing turns into something.
This is from ABC, and I don't really trust everything that ABC says, and I don't trust that they're going to show me all of the things that I need to see about this trial. So we're not just going to watch an ABC video. We're going to watch a couple of other videos too to get some more context.
And when y'all get older, y'all won't come to.
And there are a lot of questions. What he's exactly charged with, who's going to testify, what this case is going to look like. But before we get to those questions, we want to remind everybody how we got here.
A new lawsuit filed by R&B singer Cassie.
Cassie describing the music mogul as a vicious, cruel, and controlling man.
The whole criminal case against Sean Combs starts with a civil case brought by his former girlfriend, Cassie.
That's not true. It was that one chick that was bringing it up in interviews and 50 Cent talking about it and various people talking about it. That's actually where it all started. This was just the kicking off point.
Alleging that she was in an abusive relationship with Sean Combs.
And just a day after word of a settlement.
The lawsuit was settled with no admission of wrongdoing. That lawsuit settled almost instantaneously, but it gave federal prosecutors in Manhattan a window into the kind of conduct.
Yeah, Diddy was becoming a problem. People were catching on to his devilish behavior. So they had to cut him loose. They had to throw him out to the wolves.
That went on, allegedly, in Sean Combs' life.
New civil lawsuits.
A series of new civil lawsuits facing new lawsuits from 6 accusers.
Once Cassie filed her lawsuit, that opened up the floodgates, and there was this avalanche of civil claims that also helped inform prosecutors as they built a criminal case against Sean Combs.
His accusers painted dark picture of a sexual deviant who preyed on young women and men looking to make it in the industry.
Emphasis on "and men." Look up, I think it was Orlando Brown, the dude from That's So Raven. Look up that guy, see what he's got to say about Diddy. Some creepy stuff. That dude's insane though, so I don't know how much I believe of what he says. But the way he acts whenever he says some things, you're like, wow, he's really hurt by this. This is crazy. You can see it in his eyes, hear it in his voice, see it in his face.
Of which Combs has denied.
The truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman.
I don't think the problem is that he sexually assaulted anybody. I think the problem is more like manipulation and power play.
Combs has mansions, one in Los Angeles, one in Miami, and simultaneously, federal agents from Homeland Security investigations ended up guns drawn going in to both of those homes to seize evidence. They did this with a warrant. Cartons of evidence, a lot of it electronic, ended up being seized by those federal agents to help prosecutors build a case. It's on tablets, it's on phones, because according to federal prosecutors, Sean Combs liked to film himself and others in sexual situations.
All these evil people, it's always something like that, where they just can't help themselves, where they have to document their wrongdoings somehow. There's got to be people out there, evil people, who are very smart and don't do anything about that, and those are the scariest. But at least we got Diddy.
And a lot of these videos are going to be played at trial, and so prospective jurors are being asked if they mind looking at all of this stuff because they may see quite a bit of it.
That's gonna be crazy. We're gonna actually be hearing things about what was on those tapes and who was involved and things like that. That's insane. I cannot wait to cover that. Definitely going to be reacting to all that stuff.
once the trial begins. Right now, Sean Combs is being housed at the federal jail in Brooklyn. It's called the Metropolitan Detention Center, and he has been there since his arrest at a Manhattan hotel. It's not a nice place. Even federal judges have complained about inhumane conditions. But Combs is in a special unit.
Of course he is. They're always in a special unit. They always put celebrities in the nice places where they can have contact with people and get things that normal prisoners can't get.
He's housed in a dormitory-style building. Until recently, one of his dorm mates was Sam Bankman-Fried, who was convicted in a crypto fraud scheme involving FTX. Combs's trial is scheduled to begin on May 5th with jury selection. The plan is to bring several hundred prospective jurors into the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan for as many days as it takes to seat a jury of 12 plus 4 alternates, all of whom will swear they can be fair and impartial even if they've heard of Sean Combs. And really, who hasn't? There are no cameras in federal courts anywhere in the United States, and so this trial will not be televised, but we and a lot of other reporters will be there covering it, and that
I'll be here. I'll be here covering your cover and making fun of the whole situation and talking about it and talking about how fucking evil Hollywood is.
that's how the public will learn not only the evidence against Sean Combs, but we'll be looking for how he reacts to it. We've seen him a lot in court, and he presents fairly upbeat. He comes in with a smile on his face, hugs for his lawyers, gestures to members of his family who have sat in court there to support him. He looks a lot grayer than he did when he was first arrested.
Yeah, probably because he hasn't seen any sunlight. Bro seems happy because he thinks that good vibes means maybe everybody would be in a better mood and he's going to get off. Nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be all right.
You're in jailhouse beige, although at trial he may well be in civilian clothes, but he's treated like any other criminal defendant that we've seen.
I doubt that. Behind the scenes, I doubt that. On camera, yeah, where everybody can see him, but like actually in the prison system where he's spending most of his time, he's still living like a king. He's living better than people did 200 years ago, sitting in a prison cell.
And we've been there for similar trials for Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's former paramour. We've been in that courthouse for Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto fraudster, for Bob Menendez, the former United States Senator. All measure of walks of life come in and out of that courthouse. Sean Combs is only the latest. Combs faces 3 federal charges. Racketeering conspiracy, a RICO case, is probably the most serious and expansive and covers about 20 years of alleged criminal conduct. He also faces sex trafficking and prostitution charges. And taken together, federal prosecutors allege that for years, Combs has forced women into sexualized situations against their will, threatened them with violence if they didn't participate, and brought male prostitutes into a relationship.
That's insane. Like, what a disgusting freak. Yeah, people like that don't need to be in real life, really. They need to be locked behind bars, and we tell stories about insanely disgusting people like that in the future. There's going to be documentaries made about this, that men's wives are going to fall asleep to at night, dreaming about, what if I was one of the girls that Diddy abused? My life would be so much better.
In order to have what court records call freak-offs, which are basically sound a lot like orgies. Women, according to federal prosecutors, were put into these things. The rooms were stocked with baby oil and other supplies. There were cleanup crews in the end, IVs.
How much was those cleanup crews making? Could you imagine being the cleanup after a Diddy party? That sounds like the worst job in the world. They better have been making like millions or something, man. Not like no measly 60,000 a year.
To help restore people physically after what they were made to do, according to the charges, and the jury is going to hear about all of that.
The worst thing is they weren't even really made to do it. It was a power play. It was more like, you do this or you'll never make it in Hollywood because I own everything.
Combs' defense team has said that the evidence so far is just an interference in the private sex life of Sean Combs, and what's depicted in videos or said by...
I don't care. Sexual deviants like that don't need to be here. They don't need to be walking around among us. They don't need to be getting other people involved as a power play.
Witnesses or alleged victims isn't crime, it's consensual sexual activity.
There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual, and it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there.
Yeah, except the whole consensual thing. If that's the vibe that he's putting off and that's how things have been going, they already know going in. He doesn't even have to say anything. They already know what's up. Get in with Diddy and you're into Hollywood. The whole thing is just like evil. It's just like a malicious churning of evil. People are just trying to do things to get ahead. People trying to get in with Diddy because they know Diddy's the king and they want to be famous and rich. It's just all gross. He uses that to manipulate people. That desire to be rich and famous. To get things that he wants. And that's so gross.
Will the jury buy that? We don't know. It will depend in large part on how the alleged victims testify, how they're cross-examined. But so far, the defense strategy seems to be to suggest that this was consensual activity, maybe until it wasn't, but it is not the kind of criminal activity.
When are we going to start hearing that attempts were made to pay off the jurors and some were threatened? When are we going to start hearing about that? Because I guarantee you that's a thing that's going to happen. Because if you look at Diddy's cases, if you look at anything surrounding Diddy, anybody involved with him that say no to him or go against him, look at the Amala Ekpunobi thing. Diddy goons came to her house, or to her, what was her house at one point. I could see it happening, even if Diddy isn't the one who makes the call. It might be other people behind the scenes, people that are above Diddy. We don't know how far this goes, how deep this is.
That prosecutors portray. The only person we know for sure that will testify is Cassie Ventura. She is depicted along with Sean Combs in a video that CNN first obtained that shows Sean Combs kicking and dragging her through the hallway of a Los Angeles hotel back in 2016.
Combs issuing an apology video.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Combs and his legal team have a different view of how we should read that video, how we should look at that video, but we know Cassie is going to testify about it and other experiences she says she had while in the presence of Sean Combs. There are also 3 other alleged victims whose testimony helps comprise the criminal charges. They're going to be allowed to testify under pseudonyms, and so they may not be publicly identified, but it's possible we will know who they are.
Yeah, it'll get leaked. Diddy's got people that are looking heavily into everybody involved in this case. It'll get leaked.
Once we see them in open court. For people who have been following Sean Combs and the possible, celebrity side of things, I'm not sure how illuminating this is going to be.
People who go to shows like this and dress like this and make faces like that with everybody surrounding them, taking pictures of them, are evil. They are the villains of the movies. They are the people at the top of Hunger Games.
Answering questions about Combs' relationships with people like Justin Bieber or Jennifer Lopez or others. We'll see how deep into it the trial gets, but for the most part, and we don't know who some of the alleged victims who will testify, we don't know who they are yet, but for people who are hoping for a deep dive into the private sex life of Sean Combs, we'll get some of that, no doubt.
And I'll be here for it. I can't wait. Man, it sucks that all of it happened, but I'm glad that I can cover it.
At least as prosecutors say, it was criminal. But some of the other stuff, we're not sure.
Disgusting, man. Disgusting and evil. Alright, so I got another video that we're gonna watch. Somebody that, you know, isn't a news reporter guy, just a YouTuber guy. The P. Diddy trial begins, and it is already crazy. Let's go.
This was the worst by far. So this was not even human anymore, as I said. This is a damn a gazelle with an afro. This is a giraffe. This is not Diddy. I don't know what creature this is right now. This is a damn black Groot or something.
Like, the artist is really good, but what the hell? That does not look like Diddy at all. It's probably a white person that doesn't know how to draw black people.
I like that dude behind. Like, who the hell is this? What creature is this y'all got me representing?
Where'd my client go?
What's that?
Where'd my client
Yeah,
go?
who is this alien right here?
That's who
Hey everyone, my
did
birthday
this.
trip to Costa Rica is coming up in September, courtesy of Trova Trip, and we already have people signed up for this. But
Going to
we need
Costa
more
Rica.
people to sign up for this trip, so please come in and take advantage of this early bird special. But also, the next 4 people to sign up can take advantage of this code right here.
I want to go to Costa Rica.
So click the link below in the description and let's make this trip happen. Also, check out our Patreon, which includes exclusive content, including a new show featuring Martin and myself, where we discuss many things. Of stupid people, bullshit,
True.
and Diddy.
Yep.
Talking about Diddy real quick, man. Oh, listen, no, it's not what y'all think it is. Listen, y'all. So, if y'all have been keeping up with the diddler, you know that it's his day in court, and you would think that would be him in court sweating, looking greasy. No, that is not him. No. So this is great because no cameras were allowed in court. And you know what that means, Oz, right?
Get some drawings.
Courtroom
gonna be drawing.
sketches. Some courtroom.
Somebody's gonna be drawing.
Those
You gonna get that
courtroom crayons. You know
what I'm saying? I say, got your 5-year-old drawing again.
And the thing about these courtroom drawings, they never look like the person that they're drawing. They look like everybody else, but who they're drawing. So Diddy is in court, and they got the crayons out and going to town with him. And I'm gonna show you this first one right here. So this is the first Diddy picture right here.
That I can see how that looks like Diddy with the context of knowing that's supposed to be Diddy. Doesn't look like Diddy. It looks insane, but it is pretty good. It is pretty good. Not gonna lie.
And as I said, that is not Diddy. That is Chris Rock, actually. If you want to even get deeper with the Chris Rock, you got this picture right here. That's Pookie.
They got different eras of Chris Rock.
They got different eras of Chris Rock. They got old rock, crack rock. We've seen everybody but Diddy so far. I love this one, which is actually R. Kelly.
I was about to make that joke. Took the words right out of my mouth.
They just drawing any black person but the person they're supposed to be drawing, man.
They got Chris Rock Diddy. They got R. Kelly Diddy. What else they got?
Yeah, Kelly Diddy, Rock Diddy, old Diddy. As we said, Aura Kelly's up in here, man. Yeah, it's everybody but Diddy right now. And at least we're able to reference people, right?
Yeah.
It gets to a point where he's not even a person anymore. So you can see we got Black Gollum right here. Just ashy, man. Y'all have to do him like that, man.
They need to get some better artists. Let's get some manga artists or something. Let's just make anime characters, because this is absolutely insane. Probably the best thing that's going to come out of this Diddy trial experience.
They got him looking shook, too. They got him looking shook.
He's that cocoa butter.
The accusers, we hate since forever.
and that dude was talking to him. He's like, yo.
Boy, look at that bow tie. Just a couple of triangles, man.
I didn't notice the bow tie. Wearing a bow tie to court is actually an insane move. and kind of hilarious, especially one that color.
Diddy looking like that dude, like, where'd you come from?
He looks like, ugh! Ugh!
Who is it, the white man's? Who is it?
This boy just is ashy, man. Look at this. He's blue black.
He looks like...
This drone is telling its own story right now.
This was the worst by far. This boy just
Hold on.
ashy, man.
He looks like the fish guy from the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob stinks really bad, but he thinks he's ugly.
Look at this. He's blue black.
This drone is telling its own story right now.
This was the worst by far. So this was not even human anymore, as I said. This is a damn a gazelle with an afro. This is a giraffe. This is not Diddy. I don't know what creature this is right now. This is a damn black Groot or something.
I like that dude behind. Like, who the hell is this?
What creature is this y'all got me representing?
What a clown, y'all.
What's that?
Speaking.
Yeah. It looked like his shirt is open. Boy.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Is this all we're going to talk about? Just the drawings? No, there's going to be more.
I love courtroom drawings, man. I love them.
and I hope that all those drawings are by the same person. Schizophrenic. I hope it's the same person do all of them.
He gets tired of drawing the same thing. So I'm just gonna draw different people. I'm just gonna draw creatures now.
Draw whatever the hell he wants.
That people. Okay, out of all of you can listen. They don't look like him, but if you want to close one eye and squint and put your arm.
They talking about anything else?
Somewhere. That is the
himself. That look crazy.
Everyone, excuse me for interrupting this very deep conversation right here, but we do have to give a word out to our sponsor. Right?
Sponsors.
Now, if don't wear it, match your like an AI brand that will help. Shopify has helped do that for you with this code here. Shopify.
I don't need no code.
Thank all of you out there for your support. Now, back to this very deep discussion. I know you only have a very short amount of time to draw. So this person said, I'm just gonna draw just a black dude.
They talk about anything else?
Black Somali pirate right here. A very short amount of time to draw. So this person said, I'm just gonna draw just a black dude.
They do move on.
Generic black dude number 5. I'll draw that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a giraffe with a goatee and an afro. Long ass neck.
I like that first picture because it reminds me of one of those movies where the villain's gonna tell you, you know how I got here? Let me tell you something.
Yeah, like it's the beginning of his biopic. Yeah. So you probably wonder how all this started. It was about 10 years ago. Oh, hi. I'm Diddy. And you probably wonder how all this began.
How I got here?
It all started with a dream.
And a bottle of baby oil.
Damn. Dang, you look like the black Colonel Sanders. I
say that, Corey. I say that.
I say, once I get out of this sticky situation, I was going to enjoy me a bucket of chicken. Hey, man, look, ain't any more offensive than
you're not wrong.
This ashy shit they got right here.
Yeah.
Looking scared as hell.
Yeah.
And how did that person get that pose? Was Diddy looking at him like, what the hell you drawing? That's all these. Excuse me.
That is exactly what I was thinking that he looked like. Like, bro, what are you doing? You taking pictures of me?
That looks nothing like me. Hey, he stopped there. Hey, look, man. Now, goddamn, now you know that looks nothing like me. Hey, you almost got me looking like damn Black Snake Moan over here. now, goddamn it, you know that ain't me. Boy,
Samuel L. Diddy.
Yeah.
Over my head.
Diddy L. Jackson.
They all him.
Excuse me, sir. Yeah, man. I love that. That's what you say. You probably wonder how I got here.
You see that drawing.
Wow,
That's exactly what it looks like.
You nailed it with that. Because ain't nobody else looking but him.
Yup.
I don't know who these guys are, but they're hilarious. I like them.
The lady on the stand doesn't even have a face.
No. Wow. Oh my God. Y'all keep these cameras out of that court. I want more of this.
Yeah. It's the better story here.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Eventually, they're going to use AI.
Yeah.
we got it from here. Don't worry about it. Just show us this and we'll take over.
Yeah, I want the next, because you know one looks like this.
Of course. That's the next one. That's the next couple pictures.
What you mean guilty?
I love that movie.
Did you guys hear about what was happening outside the courtroom?
Yeah, this. No, what was happening outside?
I sent you a link, TMZ, man.
Yes, is what I want to hear about. What's happening outside the court?
An article about it. People were holding spots to get into the courtroom.
Of course.
For $20 to $30 an hour to wait in line.
Of course they were. Yeah, of course they were.
It's like a movie. It's like a movie that you get paid to watch. You got to pay the initial ticket, but then you get paid to talk about it.
Half those people do these pictures.
It's hard out there, right?
Yeah, shit. This dude was probably one of the people standing in line. God damn it, when these aliens gonna come down and enslave us, man. Shit. Can't wait. Jesus. I gotta get through this commercial though. I think this dude was in the courtroom, right? He was on the when this dude on the lawyers.
That's his side job.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me pause this real quick. Yeah, let me see. Oh, yeah, there he is right there.
There it is.
When I'm not representing black giraffes, I'm cooking in the kitchen. Let's see here. Just be camped out. Damn. Look at this.
People are actually camping out for Diddy. Are these reporters? Are they all reporters? They have to be. They all look like reporters.
Idiot, all of them. Look at this. Wow. Look at this. I have no faith in humanity anymore.
That is crazy to actually get one of those clear tents to sleep in. It looks like one of those porta-johns you'd take camping with you.
Look at this. Look at this nonsense.
You just want to go into the courtroom and watch.
What are those? What are those pods that people are in? What's that for? Is it like a mask that you put around your body?
That's what this is?
Yeah, they want to go into the courtroom.
What time do you want to do it too? Or you can if you want. If not.
On the other side.
Oh, is it to retain like body heat and keep you warm?
That I got here at night.
Keep rain off you?
You got this damn black Somali pirate right here. He parked at the docks to come see this friend. Oh, wow.
Look at me. I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot now.
I like how she's proud and he's kind of like, shit, I really don't want cameras on me. I know this is embarrassing.
Who win?
He looks like a bounty hunter from Star Wars or something, man.
p.m. Oh wow. Was there anyone else here at 9:30 p.m. or just you?
No, there was another 1:06.
Woman, you know better. You too old for this shit. You know better.
9:30 p.m.
Nah, lady, you know better. You are way too old for this bullshit. Now, come on.
6:30 p.m. Wow. And what time did you get here? At what time? At midnight. If you don't mind.
Why is this guy here? Is he a reporter? He doesn't look like a reporter. She could be. She definitely looks old like a reporter. Like an old reporter for like ABC or something.
I mean, asking how much do you get paid for
You
that?
want me asking, how stupid are you?
Wow. This was 32 an hour?
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, but generally
Oh, so they're the business. They might be the smart ones.
They are.
They're the smart ones. I'll take it back. They are the smart ones. They're the ones charging people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. These are the smart people charging all the morons that are trying to stand in line. Want to get a glimpse of Diddy.
To reserve a space in line.
It's a big business in New York. Like normally they do Broadway plays and stuff like
I've seen that.
Yeah, and now they're doing this for Diddy's trial.
Yeah, no, they the smart ones, you know.
That's actually amazing. That is hilarious. And people 100% are paying for it because they're stupid. Like, you really got to be the first ones to see. The ones that are really, really stupid are the ones that are just there to be there, just to see, that aren't getting paid.
No, these are entrepreneurs right here.
It's generally 25 an hour.
Jeez, there's not even.
Yeah, let's move on to talking about what's happening more in the background of Diddy. Apparently some names got dropped, some names got named, and we're going to hear their conspiracies and theories and all kinds of stuff that may or may not be happening. Some things that are probably happening that nobody's talking about. Let's get into it. The Quartering with Luke Rudkowski.
So the Diddy trial started, and pretty much the only thing I'm interested in is...
Oh wait, this isn't the one with Luke Rudkowski. Is it? Oh, well, this one doesn't have Luke, but it's basically the same video.
How many other celebrities' names are going to be coming out? And quite frankly...
Mike Myers and Michael B. Jordan are named as jury selection begins in disgraced rapper's case. Excuse me? Mike Myers as in Shrek? Or a different Mike Myers? Like, is there another Mike Myers? That's not, you know, the Michael Myers from Halloween? Couldn't imagine that's who they're talking about.
I think that's all that kind of matters, because Diddy is clearly a degenerate, and whether or not he gets convicted, it's neither here nor there. You know, I still believe that he's a Fed asset, a government asset.
Me too. I think there's like a 98% chance that that's what's going on.
That is essentially there as to honeypot people in Hollywood. I think that he is just a different version of Jeffrey.
I think he's a lower tier version. I think maybe Diddy is the Hollywood version, but Epstein was the global version.
I believe that Jeffrey was allowed to operate with impunity in exchange for information on some of the world's most powerful people.
And Diddy was involved with some of the world's most influential people, celebrities, and artists.
Maybe they let him walk on the mysterious death of his ex-wife. I don't know. You know, there's a wide variety of stuff. I don't know. But now comedian Mike Myers, Michael B. Jordan have now been named as jury selection begins in disgraced rappers case. There's other names that are coming up too.
Is Usher one of them?
Obviously, this is very suspicious. This is why I thought this trial would actually never happen. I never thought that that this would ever happen. I thought it would be pled out, or Diddy would be, you know, found in his cell, or some other.
I don't think they can do that again, especially what happened last time with Epstein. I think that would take all trust in Hollywood out of America and everything would just crumble. They can't do that. They can't have that.
Stuff, I don't know. But let's get into it. By the way, shout out to everybody who has helped pick up a Coffee Brand coffee gift box. $10 off, free overnight ship day.
I don't care about Coffee Brand coffee. I got my own coffee that I drink.
Please come back and make sure you write a customer review. Those are really, really important. Jurors who will determine the fate of Sean Combs in his trafficking trial have been selected, or the selection process has begun today in New York. Combs has pled not guilty on all counts, insisting that all these hookups were consensual, but prosecutors say that he coerced people into these drug-fueled parties using different threats and violence.
Isn't drugs illegal? If there's evidence of, not even evidence, if there's proof that there's drugs being involved, is that not illegal? I thought drugs were illegal still.
There was also a new interview that came out today that was referencing, remember all those bottles of baby oil? Remember all those bottles of baby oil that they took? 1,000 bottles of it? There's now a report that the reason the FBI actually confiscated those bottles is because they may be tainted or like spiked with GHB, which is the date.
I fucking called it. I knew that the baby oil was spiked. I said it. I've been saying it. There's drugs in the baby oil.
Struggle snuggle drug. Music mogul has been held in Brooklyn's notorious Metropolitan Detention Center. Jury selection will be wrapped up very soon. Scheduled trial to start next week. Opening statements start next week. So make sure you you follow this channel or you subscribe so you stay up to date on all that stuff. Mike Myers, Michael B. Jordan are the first celebrities named in the Diddy trial. The first two celebrities named at the trial were Mike Myers and Michael B. Jordan. Their names were read out to potential jurors from a list of people and places that may come throughout the trial. The juror, a man who works as a licensed massage therapist, said he only knew the two through their acting. Judge Subhuman said that the list of people runs several pages and it felt like an appendix from The Lord of the Rings. To speed up the process, he ruled that jurors would be only given a list to review before they are brought into court and questioned one by one before the final seat panel. The comments allude to the scale of the case, which dates back to 2004. So it sounds like there may be hundreds of Hollywood celebrities getting outed in this. This is obviously, just because you're named doesn't mean that you're guilty of anything. Just because you attended one of the parties, that doesn't mean you took part in anything.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, yeah, true. It doesn't mean that you took part in anything, but I don't like any celebrities. I think they're all evil, or at least 98% of them. 98 is a good number. 98% celebrities most likely are evil.
Unclean, anything evil, anything bad, that kind of stuff. But it's pretty interesting to me. Some people saying they attended parties at just 6, which is obviously very odd. That seems pretty inappropriate. This seems pretty young to be at one of his hookup parties. But
I think the internet ruined it for him. The internet ruined everything for all of these evil people that were doing things behind the scenes. Because before, there was nowhere that could be reported except for like newspapers and maybe in passing on cable TV. But now all of this information is out there and everybody can see it. And you can't hide it because once it's out on the internet, it's there forever.
I'd be more interested in the parents. But then we have this. Another troubled A-list actor is dragged into the Diddy case during dramatic jury selection. Potential jurors for the trial of Diddy Combs have been asked their views on controversial rapper.
No shot Kanye West isn't involved. He definitely did some weird stuff. He does weird stuff now. He had his girlfriend or wife or whatever it was that I don't think they're together anymore. She was dressed in transparent clothes at some celebrity event. And everybody was talking about it. And he just craves this weird attention and he says weird stuff. No shot he wasn't involved in some way.
Kanye West was dragged into the case when a potential juror said they recognized his name from a list of people that may come up at the trial. The man, who is a scientist in his 40s, said he knew nothing about West that would affect his ability to be impartial. West was one of several celebrities that came up in the Manhattan federal court case on Monday as juror selection began his trafficking and racketeering case. The rapper had recently defended Diddy, sharing spicy posts claiming that the two released a collaboration in clothing together. It comes as comedians Mike Myers.
It's always people who collaborate with him that defend him. It's always his friends that defend him. It's nobody that's like has anything really to do with him but has worked with him. It's always somebody who collaborated.
You know how Mike Myers has recently been going on SNL to make fun of Elon Musk? Have you noticed that? Now, it is, again, my opinion. I don't have any evidence of this. It is my opinion
That Hollywood's just a weird sex cult driven by money and power. That's my opinion.
that this individual, Diddy, was a Fed asset. If we look at how...
True. I hold that same opinion.
how quickly somebody like Usher, remember Usher went on The View and said, hey, I'm not endorsing any political candidate when they tried to get him to endorse Kamala Harris because he's black and she's black and that's all you need to know, according to The View. Then suddenly, like 2 days later, he came out with a full-throated endorsement of Kamala Harris.
That's because people got in his ear. Probably didn't even threaten him. They were just like, hey, everybody's doing this. Why are you doing this? He probably saw some backlash from people that he loves. So he decided to, you know what? It's not worth it to me. I'm just going to change my mind because I don't actually believe in any of this crap anyway. So I'll just say it just to get everybody off my back. That's what a lot of these people do.
I thought that U-turn, that change in opinion was actually pretty stark. It was pretty quick. Well, one completely, I have no evidence of this, but one possible reason could be that maybe he said, hey, you know, we've got you at some of these parties. You know, I don't know. It's pretty odd. You know, maybe they said, hey, maybe you go endorse Kamala Harris and these files, you know, on you don't come up at trial. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that too. And he's probably just like, well, it's not that big a deal to me, so I'll just go ahead and say it.
Also, other names mentioned on the list by a female juror who said she recognized them were Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, actress Lauren London, I don't know who that is, who is the girlfriend of Nipsey Hussle, and rapper Kid Cudi. Judge Subramanian said that it was a long list of people. It runs several pages. It felt like an appendix from The Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's very interesting. Michael B. Jordan was in Creed. He was in, wasn't he in Black Panther? I feel like
He was in Black Panther. He was in a lot of things.
He was in Black Panther. There is a lot. Now, several dozen prospective jurors got a brief description of the trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges against Combs from the judge, Arun Submarine, it's as American as apple pie, who reminded them that Combs had pled not guilty and was presumed innocent. As the judge spoke, Combs sat with his lawyers who wore a sweater over a white collared shirt and gray slacks, which the judge had allowed rather than jail clothing. Combs has been held in a grim federal lockup in Brooklyn.
I don't even think it matters if Diddy is found guilty or not guilty at this point. I think people just know now that this stuff runs deep into Hollywood. People who don't know are people who just don't pay attention or think it's all made up because everybody wants to lie about their favorite person or thing. If he gets found not guilty, people are going to be like, well, Hollywood's evil and corrupt, and all of this is out here on the surface. We can see it all happening. Nothing was done about it. Definitely a Fed cover-up. Feds are involved. If he's found guilty, then people are going to be like, well, Hollywood's corrupt. Feds are involved.
Since his arrest last September, his hair and goatee were almost fully gray because dye isn't allowed in jail. Unlike other recent high-profile celebrity trials, Combs' case won't be broadcast live because federal courtrooms don't allow electronic recording inside, meaning courtroom sketch artists serve as the public's eye in the courtroom exclusively. The trial is expected to take at least 8 weeks. If convicted, he faces decades in prison.
Doubt it. Doubt it's going to happen. I don't think anything's going to happen. I don't think he's going to get convicted. At least not for that. He might get convicted for something that's unrelated to all of the sex stuff. Get like 5 years.
Several of the jurors indicated that they had seen news reports featuring a key piece of evidence in the case, a video of hip-hop mogul ruthlessly pummeling his girlfriend at the time. One prospective juror described a still image she saw as damning evidence that woman was rejected from the courtroom. Now, here's the thing. What's interesting about this is that there is they're showing this video at his trial. And I think if you watch that video of him just ruthlessly pummeling this woman, I think it's going to be pretty darn hard to view this whole case impartially. You see Mike Myers, Kid Cudi, Dawn Richard, another individual.
I don't know who Don Richard is, not gonna lie.
What do these names have to do with the Diddy trial?
There are so many celebrities that I just don't know them all. So many people involved. How do so many people become famous like this and just nobody knows who they are?
Well, you see here he has completely gray hair now. Apparently, it doesn't looks mostly gray, I guess. You know, here it's in addition to questions about their history, jurors are given a list of people: Michael B. Jordan, Kid Cudi, Cassie Ventura, Michelle Williams, Mike Myers, Dallas Austin, Lauren London, and Dawn Richard. The likely reason that Kid Cudi was on the list is a who's who of Hollywood and music elite, paints a picture of Combs' far-reaching influence in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, this shit runs deep.
Kid Cudi, an Ohio-born rapper, was briefly romantically involved with Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and is likely on the list of 2023 civil lawsuit from Ventura against Combs, who accused a hip-hop mogul of threatening to explodiate Kid Cudi's car. Cudi's vehicle later allegedly did explode in his driveway the time Ventura alleges Combs made the threat. So he actually did do it. I mean, it's this guy. I think he's probably, the other Hollywood people, Cassie and Don Richard, have both sued Diddy.
I wonder how many people Diddy has had killed. Besides Tupac, of course. Allegedly.
So people that are on these lists, it doesn't necessarily mean that they were participating in his parties. It's not immediately clear why Williams, Jordan, or Mike Myers are on the list.
Probably because they work close to him in the industry. Just like adjacent. Probably not even with them. Just, in the same areas.
He has a brief segment in Austin Powers, among Myers' most famous movies, that pokes fun at the music mogul. USA Today has reached out to the rep. So it's
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. I completely forgot. It's been so long since I've watched Austin Powers. I don't really find them that funny anymore. I did when I was a kid.
possible that these people have no connection to it whatsoever. But also the way the judge has said that there is a massive list of, Hollywood celebrities. Pretty interesting. The trial is going to start next week. I'm definitely going to be covering it. So wherever you're watching.
I bet there's not a single celebrity on that list that I even like. And I guarantee I think all of them are evil. There's probably a handful of celebrities that I like that aren't evil. That's all I got for today. I'll be continuing this Diddy trial coverage in the coming days and weeks. Hopefully something happens with this and Hollywood actually gets exposed. But if nothing happens, that is going to expose it too, as this shit runs so deep that there's just nothing you can do about it. And it all needs to just be shut down. We need to shut down Hollywood. It just needs to not happen anymore. If we can't control ourselves to handle these kinds of things, we just can't have it. Buy a t-shirt or something down there in the description. I'm out.